The third and final race of the BRSCC Mazda SuperCup is about to get underway here at Silverstone, and it is time for the reverse grid. The top six have been reversed, which puts Luke Herbert down in sixth place, but on pole position we've got Gary Townsend. Gary, you're on pole position, you've got an incredible field of drivers behind you. How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous. just do my best though and stay out there as long as I can, really.
Yeah, it's difficult leading around Silverstone because of the tow that everybody else gets, so you're kind of a sitting duck most of the time.
I am, and my engine's a little bit down on power as well, so I'm really struggling. I need the tow to sort of stay with guys, let alone pull them along. So.
Yeah, so you want them to go past you so you can keep up?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, good luck. Hopefully we'll see you at the end.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers. Now, more importantly, the championship is still deadlocked. Is this going to end this race? Let's find out. Andy, over to you.
Well, if ever we were going to see this deadlock broken, a reversed grid race might be what it takes, just to shuffle the order a bit, mess with some people's rhythms, maybe open up the opportunity for either Luke Herbert or Jack Harding to actually outscore the other. At the moment, they've been unable to do that in either of the first two races. Here's how they line up then. Townsend and Sycamore share the front row, with Patrick Fletcher and Aidan Hills on row number 2. Jack Harding and Luke Herbert row 3. David Henderson and Chris Richardson on the 4th row of the grid. And then rounding out the top 10, Nick Rutter and Will Stevenson, ahead of George Grant and Bradley Kent, set to resume their battle at the back. Well, these reverse grid races we've seen time and again this year, the key is to get to the front as quickly as possible and quicker than your big rivals. So let's wait and see then, because everyone's pretty quick this weekend, and certainly Jack Sycamore and Patrick Fletcher will be eyeing up the opportunity maybe to take their first ever race victories. The lights go on. They are about to go out, and for the final time this weekend at Silverstone, we are racing in the MX-5 SuperCup. Good start made by both of the front row men. In fact, pretty much the entire grid away pretty equally there. And they run down into Cops Corner 2 by 2 with Sycamore on the inside line, Townsend on the outside. Sycamore gets the lead, Aidan Hills up the inside of Patrick Fletcher for 3rd, and Luke Herbert up the inside of Jack Harding as well for 5th. So once again, the drivers lining up on the inside line, despite those being the even-numbered grid positions, are actually able to gain ground on the drivers that were, in theory, a position ahead of them on the grid. Sycamore gets the lead away then. Patrick Fletcher has the outside line into Beckett, and so he's already lost out to Luke Herbert, and Jack Harding will go through as well. Bradley Kent bounces across the grass further back. They all, though, head out onto the Wellington Straight for the first time in more or less one piece. Who gets to the front first then? Well, Jack Sycamore has got there at the moment, but Aidan Hills is going to try and come through into second place here around the outside of Gary Townsend. Gary is in a feisty mood, or is he going to let Aidan go? Well, he had very little say in the match at the end. Aidan sailed around the outside, and he's making good progress. He's got a car between himself and Luke Herbert and Jack Harding. If he can get past Jack Sycamore quickly, that could be a big step in the direction of taking a race victory. In fact, he's working with Sycamore down the pit straight at the moment to try and break away from the cars behind. Gary Townsend's had a bad exit from the final corner, look, and so Herbert's through into 3rd, Harding into 4th. So that one car buffer that Aidan Hills did have a corner or so ago has already disappeared. And in the championship battle, it's advantage Herbert in the early stages. He's ahead of Jack Harding then. Harding needs to try and redress that situation as quickly as possible. He does not want to go to Donington Park any more than 6 points behind Luke Herbert. And as things stand, it would be 8 points, but we haven't yet seen who's going to get the fastest lap. There's a lot more overtaking to be done in this race as well. A lot more to be settled here. Aidan Hills makes a move up the inside of Jack Sycamore then, going for the race lead, and Luke Herbert tried to follow him through. Wasn't quite close enough though to the 91 machine to go on the inside line, so there is now once again a car between Hills and the other two of the big three, Herbert and Harding. Is he going to be able to pull away, or is Jack Sycamore going to be able to tow back onto his tail? It looks like that is going to be what's happening. Look, the lead gap has been eradicated once again in the distance between Luffield and the start-finish line, but now Luke Herbert goes up the inside of Jack Sycamore for 2nd place. That was nervy stuff, and it slows him down on the exit of the corner. Jack Harding seizes his opportunity to drive around the outside of Luke Herbert and then ducks straight back in line. Had no interest in going around the outside of Jack Sycamore. He had got the job done, got past Luke Herbert, and they made contact. Luke Herbert and Jack Harding, they bang wheels going into Beckett's corner, and Luke Herbert ends up running way wide. Through goes Patrick Fletcher then into 4th position, but thankfully Luke Herbert was able to keep it on the black stuff. That could have been an awful lot worse, but that was really the first bit of contact we've seen between these two pretty much all year, certainly in the second half of the season, which is impressive in a way, given just how intense this championship battle is. But and I don't for a second think that it was intentional, by the way. But again, it just shows that intensity. It's ramping up race by race by race, and this deadlock situation we've got in the championship now, where neither can outscore the other, is only going to increase that intensity, increase the pressure, and any opportunity that either Harding or Herbert have to outscore the other, they have to take it. That's exactly what Harding is doing now. Look, up the inside of Sycamore, goes into second place at Copse Corner and makes that move stick with relative ease, it seemed, there through the quick right-hander. So now there are 2 cars and 3 positions between the 2 of them. If things finish like they are now, that could provisionally give Harding, the points lead, or at least a share of it going to Donington Park. But there is every chance, in fact there's a good chance, that Herbert is going to make further progress in this race. He pulls alongside Patrick Fletcher now down the back straight. That's the outside line, and no one else really wants to use that line. They're all driving down the inside, so he has no one to help him draft down the back straight, does Luke Herbert. He has gone past Fletcher, though. He's driven past him into 4th position, so Herbert now on for 94 points, Harding on for 98. They will be 2 points apart going to Donington if we threw the checkered flag now. Thankfully for us, not thankfully for Jack Harding, but thankfully for everybody else, we're not throwing the checkered flag yet. There's lots more racing to be done, and now Luke Herbert makes his move for 3rd. Look at the inside of Jack Sycamore. Aiden Hills is defending the race lead as well into Copse Corner. This is going to stack everybody back up together again. Oh, Herbert over the curb, almost making contact with Jack Sycamore for the 2nd time this weekend. Remember, it was a similar situation to that on the first lap of race 1 that saw Sycamore spinning when he went up the inside of Herbert at this corner Beckett's, and Herbert sort of closed the door and around went Sycamore. Thankfully they avoided contact and spins on that occasion, but Herbert stays in 4th position. So 4 points in it then. Fastest lap at this stage though belongs to Luke Herbert. He set it on the 2nd lap of the race, so actually if that stays the same to the flag, which it may do if they keep on falling over each other like this, then that reduces the advantage for Harding once again. Jack, though, is trying to do something about that. Goes around the outside of Aiden Hills for the race lead here into Brooklands Corner. Luke Herbert's trying to do the same thing to Jack Sycamore and gets bullied off the road almost. That allows Patrick Fletcher to get alongside him. Things are not going to plan here for Luke Herbert in this race. He's found himself mired a bit deeper in the pack than he'd like, and this pack is actually a bit bigger than usual because Gary Townsend is sticking with him. Just like he said to Anthony pre-race, if he has a toe, he can race with the front runners, and he's got a toe at the moment, and he is indeed racing with the front runners who are continuing to delay each other. Look, Aiden Hills is really backing the pack up, and Jack Sycamore gets on the inside of Jack Harding for 2nd place now. This is not what Jack Harding needs. He's on the outside line. Sycamore will surely go through, and possibly Luke Herbert will follow him past. Jack Harding sends it into Beckett's corner and has to try and get his way back in line here, but he's got to be careful with Jack Sycamore. Jack Sycamore does not care about the championship battle. He wants his first ever race victory in the championship, and he will elbow other drivers off the road if he has to in order to achieve it. Jack Harding, though, I think has managed to prise the door open. He's on the inside line down into Brooklands Corner. Oh, they all arrive together. Harding goes 2nd. Fletcher out of nowhere is around the outside of everybody. That gives him the inside line for Luffield Corner, and I think that Luke Herbert could drop down into 5th position once again with Gary Townsend not far behind him either. He could take even more points out of the championship leader. This is turning into one of the races of the season. Aiden Hills cannot escape out in front. He's having to defend in places he doesn't want to defend, and that is stacking up the field behind him. And with the championship poised on such a knife edge, every one of these overtakes that's happening is having an effect on ultimately who will be crowned the 2019 champion. Hills then somehow still leads the way with Harding 2nd, Sycamore 3rd. Herbert is there in 4th position with Patrick Fletcher still in 5th then, despite that attempt to go through down at Brooklands last time around. Townsend is with them now in 6th position. So there is the potential here, if there were a perfect scenario for maybe Jack Harding, if he could win the race, there is a potential for Herbert to drop down as far as 6th position. That then, though, starts to make a slightly more complicated matter of the drop scores, and Luke Herbert wants to try and make sure that that is not an issue at all. Once again, he takes a big risk going around the outside of Jack Sycamore into Brooklands Corner. Can he get up the inside through Luffield? I think he might be able to, but Sycamore should have a better exit from the corner, and indeed he does, so he hangs on to this 3rd place. But Herbert is taking risks here by going around the outside of a driver in Jack Sycamore that he's not raced against all that often. Jack has had the odd race where he's been up there fighting for podiums, but he and Luke Herbert have not met on the circuit all that many times this year, so Luke is sort of taking his championship destiny into his own hands here, or almost actually placing them in Jack Sycamore's hands. If Jack makes a mistake or is overly aggressive with his defensive moves, then that could spell disaster for Luke Herbert here, but Luke knows that he needs to try and get back onto terms with Jack Harding here, and there is only one man at the moment standing in his way, and that is Jack Sycamore, who is still running a very impressive third place. It's easy, actually, in amongst this championship storyline we're following, to forget almost about the performances we're seeing from Sycamore and Fletcher this weekend. Really, really good pace, but not good enough, I don't think, for Sycamore to hang on to third for much longer, because Herbert's at the inside this time of Brooklands, but Sycamore fights back. Great stuff from Jack Sycamore. He is not deterred at all by the fact that he's racing with championship contenders. He wants the best result possible for himself, and that's how it should be. That's what racing is all about. If you're not in the championship battle, in a way, you can be a bit more aggressive with some of those that are fighting for a championship, knowing that if you just send it up the inside of them, they can't really afford to take the risk of being nerfed off the road. They kind of have to step out of your way and make life a little bit easier for you. Herbert's trying to make life difficult, or as difficult as he can here for Sycamore, but Jack is not rolling over, and at the moment hangs on to third position. Gary Townsend runs a bit wide there through Beckett's corner, but he's just about hanging on with the leading quintet. That won't have helped his chances of continuing to do so, though. Here comes the pack through the heat haze. They appear over the hill, and in what order do they appear? Well, it's still Aidan Hills that leads the way. Jack Harding second. Luke Herbert has tried the outside twice, then he tried the inside. Now he's back to the outside again. He just can't get past Jack Sycamore, can he? So at this rate, there is every chance that Sycamore could actually keep Herbert off the podium. Luke, though, still has that fastest lap, so as it stands, he's only losing 2 points to Jack Harding, and this time he's got the inside line on Jack Sycamore into Copse Corner, and this might be slightly harder for Jack to defend from. The leaders go through still in the same order, but who's in third? Who's in third? Is it Sycamore or is it Herbert? It is still Sycamore then, so that inside line at Copse didn't even work for Luke Herbert, and Jack Sycamore is still in a podium place. Luke Herbert is not. And actually that tight line that he took into Copse Corner did him no favours on the exit, so Patrick Fletcher now is becoming a bigger nuisance once again behind him. Gary Townsend refuses to fade away from this group as well. He's still just about within slipstreaming range, and so if they continue to trip over each other, he could gain more places. Side by side for the race lead. Yes, we are. Jack Harding goes to the outside of Aidan Hills. This is significant. If he can go through and then control the race from here, that could be brilliant news for Jack Harding's championship aspirations. He's got the inside line for Luffield Corner and will go through. So Jack Harding takes the lead then. Hills second, Sycamore third, Herbert in fourth position. And that, well, what does that mean? It means that Harding is on for 100 points, which would be 4 more, wouldn't it, than Herbert, because Herbert will finish fourth, but with the fastest lap. So there would be just 2 points in it going to Donington Park if they finish in that order. I think, though, from what I just saw out the corner of my eye, they've already changed round again, because I think Aidan Hills might have got the lead back away here from Jack Harding. We're watching at the moment Will Stevenson and Nick Rutter having a battle that's been going on pretty much all day, actually, between these two. They've rarely been that far away from each other on track. That's continuing in race number 3. Yes, look at that. Aidan Hills is back in front now, and critically, Luke Herbert, look, is ahead of Jack Sycamore. So somewhere, we didn't see where it happened, but somewhere Luke Herbert's got past Jack Sycamore, and now he's back on the tail of Jack Harding. So once again, that provisional championship situation I gave you a half a lap ago is already well out of date. As it stands right now, they would once again score the same amount of points, but Jack Harding goes to the inside of Aidan Hills into Copse Corner again. Aidan wants to close the door, but he can't quite do it, and there'll be 3 abreast on the exit, because quicker than both of them out of Copse Corner is Luke Herbert, who could go from third to first, and I think he will do. He's ahead of Jack Harding. He's on the inside of Aidan Hills, and the next corner is a right-hander as well, so Luke Herbert is going to go through into the race lead. Jack Harding will go through into second place again, I think, on the inside at Beckett's corner, and Aidan Hills, I fear, will be hung out to dry on the exit. There is no room for Aidan on the exit there as far as Jack Harding's concerned. He can't afford to let Aidan get back in line. I think he might have done that, though, actually, and Aidan Hills on the inside line has a slipstream from Luke Herbert, and he's back into second, and Patrick Fletcher's going for third as well. In fact, Aidan Hills goes around the outside of Luke Herbert for the race lead again. They lean on each other into Brooklands Corner. Herbert just about fends him off, but Aidan Hills wants another race victory. Herbert leads the way. Hills is second. Harding just about managed to keep Patrick Fletcher behind him. They come across the start-finish line. I'm going to have a heart attack before this race is over, and we're only just going in now to the final third or so of the race. There is plenty more to be decided here. This is almost certainly not going to be the order in which they finish. But what order will they finish in, and what will that mean for the championship? Now, all of a sudden, Luke Herbert is set to actually take quite a few points out of Jack Harding as things stand. But it's not going to stay like this for long, I don't think. Aidan Hills back to the outside. They're all locking up. They're all running absolutely along the ragged edge here, trying to get one over on each other. And Aidan Hills and Jack Harding are side by side again coming out of the right-hander. Is this going to allow Luke Herbert to escape? He needs to try and escape, really. That will be his easiest route to the top step of the podium. But as we've seen, even on occasions where it looked as though the leader was getting away, that's not necessarily been the case. Aidan Hills so late on the brakes that camera angle does really make it look as though the driver defending second place is sometimes actually trying to get the race lead away. Cloud of dust kicked up by, I think that was Jack Harding. Jack Sycamore's up the inside of Patrick Fletcher. This is absolutely the race of the season now. We've had some good races this year already, but this is just turned into an absolutely spellbinding way to round out the Silverstone weekend, and it is not over yet. If it were over though, Herbert would score 102 points. That would be 6 more than Harding. He would double his championship advantage after they've been in this stalemate situation all day long. But already that's out of date because Harding's up the inside of Aidan Hills. He locks up though, he clatters into the number 8 car. They both run wide and Jack Sycamore goes past the pair of them. Now, this is the biggest gap that any race leader has had at any point all day long. If Luke Herbert can't escape now, then he never will. He has the chance, though, to break the toe and leave them all to fight for the scraps behind. Bits of bodywork go flying. They're still side by side for second. Look, Harding round the outside of Sycamore into Brooklands corner. That gives him the inside for Luffield corner, but look at the damage it's doing because Luke Herbert is getting away now. He's nearly a second clear, and they are still side by side because Jack Sycamore fights back again on the exit of Luffield corner. Wheel to wheel. Aidan Hill still has a part to play in all of this as well, and this is all working out terribly for Jack Harding. Luke Herbert is getting away and Harding's off the podium again now. Aidan Hill's back into third position. Harding has to fight back at the bare minimum. He has to finish second in this race, immediately behind Luke Herbert. But even if he does that, Herbert will take 4 points out of him because Luke still has the fastest lap, and there is very little chance at the moment that any of these drivers fighting for second are going to be able to do anything about that because they're all fighting so hard amongst themselves that, as entertaining as it is, they're not setting very quick lap times. So Herbert's fastest lap is looking fairly secure at the moment. The best that Harding can hope for here is to get into second place, and if he can't catch the leader, at least limit the damage that's being done. It's Sycamore, though, that holds second place into Brooklands corner this time around. Harding is up the inside line, but mainly to try and defend from Aidan Hills rather than attacking Sycamore in front of him. This sensational race, this final race of the weekend for the MX-5 SuperCup, has provided so much drama, so much intrigue, and Jack Harding could yet salvage something from this. He's up the inside of Sycamore again into Cobb's corner. Herbert turns through the race leader. That much is not in doubt. Who comes out of Cobb's corner in second place, though? Is it going to be Jack Harding? It looked as though he was going through. Can't quite see them. They're still side by side, I think, but the inside line belongs to Jack Harding, and Aidan Hills will try and follow him through as well here if he can. Harding again a bit wayward under braking there. He is on the absolute limit here because he knows that that gap that he's got to Luke Herbert, that could be a critical one. Not only could it cost him the race victory, but realistically you'd have to say it could be about to cost him the championship, because if he goes to Donington Park any more than that sort of 6 points behind that he was coming into this race, that's going to be very, very hard to overhaul against Luke Herbert on the day. I mean, look at the way it's been today. In the first 2 races, try as he might, he couldn't take even a single point out of Luke Herbert. If he goes to Donington Park and has to take 8 or maybe 10 points out of Luke, that's going to be very tricky to do. And right now, as it stands, that's what he would have to do. Herbert on for 102 points, Harding on for 98. There would be 10 points apart going into the final 3 races at Donington Park. And there's only one more lap of this race left. Luke Herbert looks good for the race victory. It's going to be a relatively comfortable one by the looks of it. The big question is, who will finish in second place? Can Jack Harding hang on? Can Jack Sycamore hang on for his second podium of the year as well? Well, Aidan Hills has other ideas because he is trying to challenge Sycamore here into Beckett's corner. Jack runs a bit wide on the exit as well. Now that means that Hills will probably get alongside him, and that takes a little bit of the heat away from Jack Harding. Jack Harding will probably still defend the inside line. No, he's going to try and drive down the outside of the rail. He really doesn't feel like he's under any pressure from the cars behind them. Herbert turns into Brooklands for the final time of asking. At the moment, Luke Herbert, Aidan Hills and Jack Harding are also deadlocked on race victories. 6 wins apiece for all of them. This will break the deadlock now in the favour of Luke Herbert, who came here this weekend with 5 victories and leaves here with 7 and a 10-point championship lead going to Donington Park after a sensational race here in the final race of the weekend at Silverstone. Harding salvages second, but it's not really going to be enough. Third place for Aidan Hills, and Patrick Fletcher got past Jack Sycamore at the final corner as well, so Hill gets on the podium, Fletcher 4th, and a disappointed Jack Sycamore drops down to 5th position by the flag. Then it was David Henderson, Nick Rutter, Chris Richardson, Gary Townsend and George Grant, whilst Will Stevenson and the luckless Bradley Kent once again failed to finish. What a race that was, though. I can't wait for Donington Park. Let's have a look then at the championship standings. Luke Herbert 10 clear of Hardy. Hills is out of it now. Fletcher looks good for 4th, and Gary Townsend in 5th should be able to hang on to that to the flag. It is all about the 2-horse race for the title, Herbert versus Harding.
Well, Luke, as we've seen all season, you had to fight hard and you fought hard for that win. Puts you 10 points ahead of Jack going into the last 3 races. It's getting tense, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to come out this weekend with a little bit more buffer. This is probably my strongest track of the year. I've always done well here. I've always qualified pole. We've always got a win of some sort. So, you know, I needed to make points here because if it wasn't here, then Jack's track's Donington National. Yeah, let's see. It's going to go down to the wire. Luckily, I've got that 10-point buffer, so it takes a little bit of pressure off. But 10 points isn't enough to relax. But we'll see.
You can't be complacent. You know how good of a driver Jack is. You know how good of a driver everybody on that track is as well. So to come through with 2 wins this weekend, it's a job well done.
Yeah, especially with the reverse grid starting 6th. I was sitting in 5th for a while, and then got back up to 4th, struggling to get past Jack Sycamore because he was rapid in that race. You know, he's been there or thereabouts, but that race he really pulled through. I think he sorted his overheating problem out, so he had the power back. And but yeah, just got the lucky break into the first corner when the 3 of them all tried to take the lead, and set it down into 3rd gear and up the inside to victory. So.
Yeah, so you've got to go back and do your homework for Donington.
Yeah, I've always struggled there. I don't know why. It's just Achilles heel for me, but there or thereabouts. So the car felt phenomenal today. So if we can keep that set up for Donington, we might stand half a chance. And yeah, just try and finish behind Jack every race and get fast as that, and that'll do me.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about it just now. Go and enjoy the 2 wins, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'm off home now for a curry, so a celebratory curry.
Good stuff. What curry is it?
I like a lamb vindaloo, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like a bit of spice.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, there's a lot of spice in the Mazda SuperCup as well, so go and enjoy it.
Cheers, mate, thanks.
Well, Jack, in terms of the performance and in terms of the results, it's not been too bad a weekend, but in terms of the championship, Luke's got a bit of an edge on you now.
Yeah, there's good luck, bad luck, and my luck, unfortunately. Yeah, always seems to be the same. Luke comes out, smelling roses, and I'm always the one managing to get knocked back. But we salvaged best we could and got back up to 2nd. It is disappointing because obviously the aim this weekend was even if I could just maintain the 6 points, or obviously game would be even better, and then I could take the fight down at Donington. I think it'll have opened up to about 10 now, so obviously it's a little bit more. Tricky. I think I'll need a lot of luck for it to go my way because of drop scores and things like that. But at the end of the day, we come here to win races. We haven't managed to do that this weekend either. But that's all I'm going to do when I go to Donington. You can get quite caught up trying to think about championship. But at the end of the day, we all come here to race, to have fun, and that's what we're going to do. So we can go to Donington and just try and win some races, regardless of what happens in the championship, really.
Yeah, well, no matter what, you always put on a show, and you certainly put on a show here at Silverstone, so congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, can I just thank my sponsors, Yorkshire Trade Windows and Townsend Vehicle Hire, and obviously AK. They've done a great job with the car. Unfortunately, I'm the person who's let them down this weekend, but hopefully we can get back on top step at Donington anyway.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Aidan, you look disappointed, but from a spectator's point of view, you put on a great performance, and congratulations on your podium.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I hate being disappointed with the podium, and I hate coming across moody on the camera, but I can't be that happy with that race. Led most of it, and we have led a lot of races this year and not won them. And I think that's really the difference between winning a championship and coming, 2nd or 3rd is the results that you got to make the most of the opportunities. And yeah, there's a lot of it got very, very aggressive. Everyone was driving to win the race. Obviously, Jack and Luke both want to win that race, and yeah, there's a lot of moves going on that didn't need to happen, and I maybe did one or two myself that I didn't really need to do. So ultimately, yeah, I'm not happy with the result, but I can't complain. We've had 3 podiums and another win, so it's overall a good weekend.
What's your form like at Donington?
Well, we won 2 races there last time, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we can't wait to see you there. For now, go and enjoy the podium.
Cheers, mate. I just obviously got to say massive thanks to my dad for all his support, all his help. We worked really hard on the car, and everyone who's come this weekend, all my family, mum, granddad, sister, and Maddie, my girlfriend. Without them, we wouldn't be racing. So thanks to all of them for coming and supporting me.
Thank you.